Saturday night at 8 o'clock, I know where I'm gonna be. In a beer shed with a bent HERMS coil. Oh, he's a disaster. Formed my HERMS coil. Need to make the bends for the entry and exit pipe. Knew the son had a 3 diameter pipe bending gizmo tool. Fucking useless. Not to be helped by the fact it's one of these fucking useless tools, says I with great profanities. Supposed to do that. The only problem is that bit where it locks the pipe damages the pipe, and when you bend it round, this obviously isn't 10mm, it's bloody imperial, and damages the pipe even more. But you don't discover that until you take it out of the form and it's crushed all the edge up. So you end up with something like that, or like that, with dints in it from the bending tool. So I'm faced with an expensive dilemma. £20 on another lot of copper and start again, then bend it again and hope for the best, because I was hand bending it and there was still a little bit of creasing coming in. So that would mean an additional spend, plus a pile of copper that's scrap, technically, because I haven't really got much of a use for it, other than I was going to get another one possibly to build a counterflow chiller at a later stage, but if that beer line cooler thing works, that won't be necessary. So we've commiserate ourselves with a Dominion Oak Stout, which knocks Guinness well off its arse. So I've cut the offending ballsed up copper, as you saw, and I have 2 opposing ends. What do I do? Well, I'll just check my local tool station. 10mm soldering elbows. Trim this back a little bit more, solder an elbow on, and have them like that. So if I try and take any more off this coil to give me another exit and entry arm, I'm going to lose even more of the copper coil, reduce my area, my thermal mass, may or may not affect the research, but I don't want to find out afterwards. And then obviously once I've drilled the kegs, make a bigger coil, and then the fittings are in the wrong place. So I'm going with that option. I think it's the easiest because they're 82p, so it's a lot cheaper than other options. Stainless steel, I think they're £50+, which I ain't spending. Plus I've already bought these, which are 10mm, and I think the stainless steel coils are imperial. So I'd have to spend another 12-13 quid on replacing these. So the 82p option is coming into play. Well, I never expected it all would be plain sailing. Well, on a lighter note, I did manage to find all of those other parts that I knew I had that were eluding me, and they've turned up now in a little box in me brewing shed. So we have the rare sensor wires and whatever else I was looking for. We have had a chance to drill out the electric box for the second heater element. I actually also found, didn't realise I bought another nut. So I think that was the idea, in case one wasn't sufficient, that I could fit two into a keg. So therefore, if I needed to, I'd already bought the nut. I think, having seen other fellow YouTubers who've done the same thing as I'm doing, that a 4000 watt element should do the job. Well, I know it should do the job if they are actually what they state at 4000 watts, because the keg I done a few weeks ago with the immersion heater in is only, I think that was 3 kilowatts, assuming 240 volts was going into it, 2.7 if it was 220, and that, I mean, it did take a while, but then obviously that was tap cold water. So obviously if it's coming out your mash tun, it's going to be at sort of 70 degrees time you've done your sparge. So obviously it's only got to go from 70 or 100. So I don't think that will be an issue. We have got some of the Chinese stuff turned up, which was another 4 bolts, but they're not BSP, they are MPT or whatever, NPT. The taper thread, because a couple of these I think were BSP advertised, and they've obviously sent me the wrong ones, and there is a couple of items I bought which only came as NPT, such as the thermo welt. So now we have a nut that's happy to be round. So we've got those, we've got the washers, we're just waiting for a punch and something else from China. I can't remember what it is now, but hopefully there shouldn't be too much hold-ups in waiting for anything to come to finish the kegs off. I've only got 2 ready to convert. I still haven't done a mash tun or boil kettle, depending on which one's which. At the minute it's sort of HLT, looks as if it's going to be the HLT, as long as this bloody coil thing goes right, and then that's it. I'll have to choose another keg to make the mash tun. Yeah, I want to at least get to the stage where I can get some of the fittings on the kegs and do a leak test, just to see if the little silicone trays that I'm using for the seals are thick enough. I have found a company that supplies silicone sheet in 3mm thick. Well, I actually do 3 and 5. I think 5 is too much, but I know some of the seals I've got are 3mm. So I might get a sheet of that, and if need be, I want to see how I go with these other little flan type trays. Everyone else has used baking trays, so I can't see there being an issue. It's just a case of whether they're a bit thin and you're used to one each side of the keg wall, or just get away with the one and some PTFE tape. Alright, we moved on another day. Been up to the local hardware suppliers called Toolstation in the UK, and got myself, well, I bought 3 of them, because I know I've got one kicking about, so that makes 4. So, assuming nothing goes wrong, I'll have a spare one. So we're just going to cut the pipe. What I've done is coiled it up a bit more, so that these are more or less in line, and we've passed the first section of pipe under the first turn of copper. We're going to do the same with this one, so it'll help support a little bit of an open coil. And if you spot in the background, there's another little soldering job there. More on that later. Right, so I've just cut a couple of lengths of pipe, or the coil tubing straightened out to make me some lengths of pipe. And what I've done is passed it through the last turn of the coil. So although they're not central, it should go something like that. Oink, oink, oink. That's the theory anyway. So I'll stop you there, get the wire wool out and solder the joints. Well, she's all soldered up now, so you can see just a little offset. I'll match that up with the kegs, drilling the holes in the kegs, or keg. So, fingers crossed. Project one complete. While I had the soldering iron, need a bit more heat than that. While I had the torch out to do some soldering, ooh, still a bit warm. We knocked up this little bad boy. Just call me Popcorn Norfolk. See you next week.